This is a very old story that I heard when I was just a little boy. It's called The Apple Star Adventure. There once was a little boy who had all of the toys. He had this box and that box, computer games and model trains. But he was bored. He was tired of balls and puzzles and bikes. He was bored. Mom, I'm bored. Bored, 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 said the little boy. Now his mother, who knew all kinds of fun things for boys to do, went to the closet to get the little boy his cap and his coat. You can go on an adventure to look for the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside, she said. Which way should I go? He asked his mother. I don't know where to find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. You'll have to go down the road and past the farm and over the hill, she said. And when you find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside, come back and tell me all about your adventure. So the little boy put on his coat, and he put on his cap, and he went out the door. He had not gone very far down the road when he met a little girl dancing in the sunshine. Excuse me, little girl, he said, do you know where I can find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside? The little girl stopped and smiled. No, she laughed. I've never heard of a little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. But, she said, my father is a farmer, and he knows how to grow carrots and onions and a basket of cabbage and broccoli and zucchini. Maybe he knows where you can find a little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. The little boy smiled. Thank you, he said. Before long he came to a great barn, and standing in the doorway was the farmer. Excuse me, Mr. Farmer, he said. Do you know where I can find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside? The farmer thought for a while, and then he said, I've lived in these parts for a good long time, but I've never seen a little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. But, said the farmer, Granny lives in a cabin over the hill. She knows all kinds of things. Why, she knows how to make molasses and taffy and popcorn balls, and she knows how to knit a red scarf. Maybe Granny can tell you where you can find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. The little boy thanked the farmer and went on over the hill until he came to a little cabin, and there was Granny sitting in the garden of herbs and marigolds, smiling like the sunshine. Please, dear Granny, said the little boy, where can I find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside? Granny was knitting a red scarf, and when she heard the little boy, she smiled and laughed so cheerily that her ball of wool rolled off her lap and onto the path. As the little boy picked up the wool, Granny said, I think I would like to find that house myself. That star would be cozy and warm on frosty winter nights, and the starlight would be far prettier than a candle. But no, I don't know where you can find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside. But, said Granny, you could ask the wind. The wind whistles at everyone's windows and blows past everyone's back door. Maybe the wind will know. Thank you, said the little boy, but decided that maybe it was time for him to head home. Now the wind was whisking down the hill as the little boy was climbing up, and when they met, the wind whirled around the little boy and whistled softly in his ear. I wonder, thought the little boy, should I ask the wind? And then he whispered, Wind, could you help me find the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside? Now the wind can't speak with words, so it whirled around the little boy again and pushed him up the hill. Then it whistled on ahead and whipped to the top of an apple tree. The wind shook the apple tree and dropped a bright red apple into the little boy's hand. The little boy looked at the apple. It was red, and the little stem on top could be a chimney. But was there a star inside? The little boy turned to head home, and then he remembered and whispered, "Thank you," to the wind, and he thought he heard the wind whisper back, "You're welcome." When the little boy got home, he told his mother all about the little girl and the farmer and Granny and about the wind. Then he handed the apple to his mother, and she took it into the kitchen, put it on its side, and cut it through the middle. And there, inside, was the star. "It's almost too special to eat when you know the star is in there," whispered the little boy. "I know," whispered his mother, "but let's eat it anyway." And that's just what they did. And that's the story of the little red house with no doors and no windows and a star inside, the Apple Star Adventure. If you would like your own copy of this book, visit Amazon.com, or you can contact me at chrissummerhaysstudios.com. Thanks for listening.